Hey, so I wrote this poem, and it is a stormy day outside today. And I wish I was more like one of those people who had like a production value and I could put like that stuff in the background. So pretend that that's happening. I will never read this poem on stage or in front of people, probably. So I felt like it did deserve the light of day in like some kind of smaller aspect situation. So without further ado, I'm going to do this poem. The poem is called You. It's my fault. I gave it all to you because I wanted to. But once you were gone, I was writing songs and suddenly was busy. Had I done these things while we were together, your chase would have been more exciting. The more you pull away, the more I lose sight of my life. I resented you for it because I knew you weren't committed. Just wasting my time, it was so early on. Maybe if I hadn't given it my all. Why do I do that? Oh, that hurt so fucking bad, sending photos of my ass to keep you in check. Make it stop. Get it out of my head. I went back in your bed and it's sickening. Blocked from you entirely. Why did you do that? Why did we pull away, let fear take the reins, or were you always out to use me? I miss you so much, I'm oozing. Moving through photos and videos on my phone, text me please, I want to come home. But don't, because you cast aside my feelings like dirt. Claim you didn't mean to orchestrate my hurt. How much of it was a lie? So I can't stop looking at myself as the bad guy. I was right to be afraid. At home sick while you were trying to stick your dick somewhere else. I would have brought you soup. Risked my health just to sit with you. Where do I go from here? Already have 6 people in my ear. But I'm thinking about yours and how the last 2 times I didn't get to explore and my heart slows. It feels like I'm dying and I fall to the floor crying. I've never felt so confused, lost, and drained. Were you a vampire sucking out my brain? Were you real at all? Was any of it? Had I gone along, would I have been picked? If I never shared how lonely it felt the next morning when you hadn't reached out. If I hadn't gotten upset and made the trip to see the Super Bowl with your parents, would things have been different? Or was that betrayal always there? Was it always on your mind? Did you know did you know from the beginning you couldn't be mine? Couldn't give what I wanted, it wouldn't align. So then why did you agree with everything the first time? I gave in to you because I thought you wanted more, that's what you said. I wasn't giving enough, so I gave you the best head. And it made me feel used the way you said it the next morning. When I got home and my roommates were joking about what a whore I am. I hate myself for caring. I don't think you deserve it. But I also do, because I think we're both victims of each other's never-ending bullshit behaviors. Why do we do that? Both so concerned with protecting ourselves, but you took away my right by keeping truce to yourself. Let me assume all the risk, and now my person is ripped into a million little pieces. For you, was this easy? Yeah. I always say, like, people are like, you're so vulnerable on stage. And you get on stage, you're so vulnerable. And I always say, yeah. You know, it's I act like it's easy, but it's not. Sometimes it's really hard, and I don't think I'm as vulnerable as people always think that I am. There are a lot of things I think that I keep to myself, and this poem in particular, I think was very depthly something that affected me depthly. I make up words sometimes. This poem was something that really affected me, and what am I trying to say here? There are different ways to be vulnerable, and I guess what I'm trying to say is the way that I am vulnerable on stage is not always so open for me. Sometimes I share things that have gone past, sometimes I share things that I feel like are obvious or people already know, or that like I'll just keep sharing the same thing, or poems that I'm like, you know, this is okay for me to share, I'm comfortable enough sharing this one. But there are still a lot of them that I don't share, and things that I'm not always comfortable saying. And I listen to people and they write songs, and sometimes I feel exactly what they're saying, and you don't always have to be particularly vulnerable. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like Dr. Evil right now. What I'm trying to say is, that was really hard for me. And I wish that I could be as vulnerable as people think that I am. And I wish that I could get on stage, and I wish that I could do these things, and there are ways that I am incapable of expressing or sharing because I believe that something is not perfect, or I believe that it is not good enough, or I am not good enough, or the things that I have said are repetitive, or people don't want to hear from me. There's always this nipping, this idea in my head that everything's gonna collapse if I say exactly what I'm thinking, and a lot of times things do collapse because I say exactly what I'm thinking, and that hurts. But there are so many people I've also like just grown, like just loved with. Like, there are people I've connected with and grown with, and there's this line, right, between people, and it's not visible to the eye. People are gonna think I'm crazy because I can't speak words right now. I'm usually really good at saying exactly what I'm thinking, but this is something I can't describe. When I go to certain places, and people hear my poetry and they're so accepting of it, and they come to me afterwards and they tell me that it's resonated with them. That's the word. It's resonated with them, and I feel that way about them, and I feel like the things that they're saying resonates with me, and there's this safety that I know that, you know, they're gonna be great people. But there's also this fear that's always in the back of my mind that if I say the wrong thing or I do the wrong thing, that there's gonna be this rejection. So sometimes I just completely shut down and I say nothing, or I'm weird, or I put on this mask and I try to do things that, like, I want to act and be like other people. And so when I get on stage and I am just saying what I'm saying, and I'm being who I'm being, it is really, really difficult, but also not, because I'm not as vulnerable as people think I am when I'm on stage, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe, I don't know. There are times when I have gotten really personal, and but it's things that I feel comfortable sharing, and that's what I'm trying to say. Oh my god. Like, it took me so long to get here. These are things that I feel comfortable saying on stage. And there are things that still make me uncomfortable to share. And one of those things that makes me super uncomfortable to share is when I think I might like somebody or have feelings for somebody. I think I'm so genuinely afraid that it's gonna end badly, or that I'm gonna be the one that gets hurt, that I don't know. And so I write a lot of poems about that, and I don't share it because sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm just putting that on myself. And I don't want my friends are always like, you know, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. But friends are some of the greatest, like, what's the word? Not on purpose either, but they enable behaviors accidentally that you might know are problematic or that you might have. And I think it's hard sometimes to be honest with yourself and say, like I panic, or I lose sight of myself, or I do things because I'm desperately afraid of, you know. And I do have this, like, anxious attachment style where I will just glom onto someone when I do finally let my guard down with them, because then I'm just so scared that now I fucked it up and that they're just going to take what I've given and run away with it. Because it's happened before, and then it just, like, I almost, what's the word, where you not self-sabotage, but you're like, you're creating the thing that you are self-actualizing, you are prophesizing, you are reaching a prophecy, you are, I'm getting there, I'm trying to say it. I'm really struggling because this is really hard for me to say. I'm trying to tell you what this poem's about. This is what You is about. You is about a relationship in which I kind of go back and forth. I kind of go back and forth with myself on whether or not I think it's my fault that this happened. And I know that there are things that I didn't deserve, because my friends are going to see this and they'll be like, Sabrina, what the fuck? And I know that, you know, the way that I was treated in the end, it was shitty. But there was a moment in the relationship, and I'm sure that I was right the whole time, I'm positive of it, but there was a moment in the relationship where I did feel safe, and I did feel that connection, and I felt like they wanted to move things forward, and I got really scared because I thought about all of the options that would fall away. Even though I wasn't dating anyone else, there were no other options at the time. I just felt scared that I was going to be giving up myself. I was going to be giving up, like, my singleness, and then, like, this person was going to want some commitment from me or something eventually, and that, like, what did that look like? I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. I have no idea what that looks like. And then they invited me to meet their parents, and this scared the shit out of me. This, like, wholly turned me upside down into, and I remember thinking at the time, like, there were so many things on my plate. February was so busy. And I was so frustrated because I didn't know if I wanted to give up my time, and I could feel myself, like, losing myself if I did this. I was afraid that that might happen, like, if I continued, and if that was going to happen to me. That scared the shit out of me. And I was at work, and this person had texted me and invited me to do something that would have been really fun, and I'm sure I would have really enjoyed. But I felt like, I don't know, this weird pressure to perform, and it scared me, and I was already like, I don't want to be you know, whatever, if I don't go to this, is it gonna ruin things? If I go to it, am I hurting myself? You know, what are the whatevers? And I guess this is where, too, like, some people, I think, are like, okay, you end it, right? Because something in your system is going, no, I don't like this. But the problem is that with everything that's happened in my life, I don't trust my system anymore. And I keep losing my train of thought. I don't trust my system anymore. And so when I'm like freaking out, I'm like, is it because I really like this person, I don't want to fuck it up? Or is it because I don't like this person and something they're doing is freaking me out? And that was where the line started, where I didn't know who had done something wrong, or if it was just all in my head. And then I started to see things that were red flags, and I was like, okay, and I told myself that. And it they convinced me somehow that, like, it was normal, and that, like, it was just in my head, and that, like, they really liked me and I was creating drama, and maybe, like, we shouldn't continue this. And, like, looking back, I feel like they tried to end it multiple times, and, like, maybe we're self-sabotaging on purpose. But I also felt like that was because I kind of pulled away. And it's scary when you're an adult, and and it's hard too to be someone who's empathetic, because you know, as an adult, and being single for a long time, and in the world that we live in right now, it's very scary to be vulnerable. It's very hard to be vulnerable with people. And when you feel like people aren't meeting you at some way, and you've been hurt so many times, it's so easy for your system just to close down and be like, no, I don't want this. So instead of disappearing when I felt that, and, like, whatever, I freaked out, was reassured, and then I felt more red flags, was reassured. And it's like I kept bringing up these things because they freaked me out, and in hindsight, they were very real red flags that ended up being very true to the situation. But I wanted to reassure this person. I wanted to make this person feel like, no, like, I am really, like, I really do like you, and I really do want this to continue, because I did really like that individual person. And I wanted to see this through. I wanted to understand, I guess, whether or not it was me or this person, and I guess I got my answer. But I don't know, I still am picking it apart. Like, what creates this? I don't know. And I don't know. What if I was right, and this was just a pattern that I repeat? What? Because I'm not on dating apps. I wasn't out looking for somebody. This was somebody that approached me at my job. What about me creates this thing where I am attracted to people that are going to do this to me, or where I attract people who are going to do this to me? Because it wasn't somebody that I attracted with my poetry, or being vulnerable, or, like, being whatever. I was just at work. This person approached me, and at first I was, like, not that into it, but by the end of the night, I really enjoyed I don't know, I just really enjoyed that they were trying. I enjoyed the conversation, so I reached out and was like, hey, thank you for that. And then they invited me out for coffee, and like, this is a very normal situation that all adults go through and do. This is a very real life situation, a very go with the flow, the universe planned it type situation. So the questions on my mind are, is this something the universe orchestrated because I have to keep learning the same fucking lesson over and over again? In which case, fuck you, universe. 2, is there a sign on my forehead that says, like, what I am? Like, a fan. Like, I don't know. Like, will obsess, will fuck everything up for you, will eat shit for you, will, like, be an 11 for a fucking 2. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what about me says that? And I'm so many different people, because some days I feel so differently. Like, some days I'm like, fuck you. Some days I'm like super sensitive. Some days I'm like super dudish. Some days I'm super feminine. Some days I'm super, like, there are just so many different versions of me, and I'm like, I don't know, A, what attracts people to me in the first place. And I'm like, I know I'm pretty cool, but they're all the same types of people. So how can they tell that I'm an individual who's going to give them a lot? Or, like, I don't know, like, how? Or is it me? Was there something in the interaction during that night that made me go, huh, I really like this person? And I do remember there being a moment in which I thought, I really like this person. And that was, so I love my YouTube, because this is where I can get really vulnerable with people. That was when I saw them, like, dancing. Like, I saw them, like, jumping around, like, having a great time. And that's because that's something that I like to do. And I always am super attracted to very high energy people who are very confident, people who are very, but here's the thing about people who are super confident. Breaking this down on live YouTube right now with you guys. Here's the thing about people who are really confident. They're also sometimes only projecting confidence because they're super insecure. And I know that because the man in the mirror is me. I am always people love me because they think I'm so confident and I'm so brave and I'm so this and I'm so that and I just live my life. But the reason that I'm out living my life is because I am depthly so sad and lonely. And, like, I have changed a lot. Like, I'm more comfortable sitting at home now. I've been learning the guitar. I can do things. Like, I know chords. Look at me. I can do this. Shit, now I can't. My beloved monster and me, she will always be the only thing. Anyways, I can do that now. I'm not gonna do it here because I'm gonna post it later, where I was actually trying, and this is not what this video is about, so I'm not gonna do that. But I'm learning chords and I'm getting my website done, and I'm kind of back to feeling like myself, but more so I'm even more comfortable being alone now, because which is a little bit scary, because, you know, I do want a relationship, but, like, I don't want to keep losing myself. And every time this happens to me, I come back even harder, but also more shelled. And I don't want to be more shelled, but I do want to be somebody who's comfortable with being at home and being by myself. So, you know, I'm glad to be learning all these things and filling my time with something that I've always wanted to do. But, so, like, I'm not, like, even, God, what I'm saying is that had I had that, during this relationship and been comfortable with just doing my thing at home and not worrying about what they felt or if they were going to care about me, they might have been more interested. But instead, because I was so scared that it was going to go away, I consistently texted this person. I tried to be cute. I tried to keep them involved. I tried to keep them online. I was very annoying. And it's funny because I've been on the receiving end of that because I'm a very busy person myself, and I take 10 years to respond to a text sometimes to my friends, which makes me feel really guilty, but it's true. And, you know, I've been on the receiving end of somebody who has really liked me and I just haven't liked them back. Or maybe I did like them back and they were just texting me over and over and over and over again because they weren't used to the fact that I wasn't responding right away. And I've been told in the past that, like, oh, you're too busy, or, like, I wasn't watching or seeing what was happening and they were dating somebody else on the side. And, like, because I was so trusting and I was like, oh, you need your space, you need your time. And that actually happened again because I was like, oh, I'm doing too much, I think, to keep this person, so let me give them their space. And then I gave them their space and I got cheated on. And I can't even say cheated on because we weren't in a relationship, but we were. Like, we were dating and talking every morning, and I was investing my time in this person for over a month. That's like, I don't know. And to me, like, juggling two people is definitely just wasting everyone's time. If you're investing in somebody and you can't be investing in two people at the same time, I don't believe in that. That's just not me. I understand that there are, you know, people out there who are polyamorous, who do these things, and if they can do that, that's great. I am not a person who can invest two people's time. I feel if you're investing time in one person, it is because you are not investing time in the other person, and you cannot grow a relationship with somebody if you're trying to grow feelings for somebody else at the same time. It doesn't work that way, and there's no way that I could ever compete with somebody that somebody would already have feelings for also. That's insanity to me. So, like, there are things that, like, I know I didn't do wrong in this relationship, but there are still things that I'm like, my system really got shattered by this, and I can't see why. And I'm like, the more that they rejected me, the more that I tried. And is that why? Do I like people that I know are going to reject me in order to fill some sort of prophecy? Or so there are so many questions on my mind about why this happened. And that's why I wrote Why, which is another poem I released recently. And I feel like I should do that for you guys, and that would be a great way to end this. Let me pull that up. I wrote this poem. It's called Why. I did read Why live at the bar the other night at open mic, and I got a lot of really good feedback on it. This is probably the most vulnerable I've ever been, I think, on stage. I almost cried in front of these people. I did just kind of cry in front of you guys. I'm really sorry for that, but I'm gonna get through this. This is called Why. So we're gonna do Why, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just about vulnerability. It started off, I was just gonna do the poem for you guys and just go fuck myself, but now it has become an actual video, and I want to share it because I want people to see this, and I'm just gonna title it Vulnerability. And you know, part of me shares stuff because I want other people to, like, I don't know, feel. I'm actually, short side story. I went to a hospital once when I was younger, and you know, I don't talk about that a lot. I talk about how I went to anger management, but I don't really talk about how I got there. And it was in a facility because I had hurt myself, and this was a long time ago. And one of the things that they did there that made me feel so good was that they would like ask us questions, and then they would have people walk up to the line with their eyes closed and like look around and see how many people also felt that way. And I realized that the more you shared about how you actually felt and the more honest you were about what was going on with you, because back then I used to not tell people anything. I was super unsharing. I just cried a lot. But it made me realize the importance of being vulnerable with people, because it allows other people to be vulnerable, and you see all of these other people who are hurting, who do just want to share their story, who do just want to whatever. But I also do want to just share my story. I want one day, if I die, for people to look back and see all of this and they see a whole life. They see a whole person growing up and changing. And I want to be that human art experience where people get to watch, you know, like the Truman Show, I guess. And I always say that I feel like I'm on the Truman Show, which I kind of had made myself the star of. I want people to be able to see my life as I grow up and as I change and as I do things. I think that's really beautiful. So this poem is called Why. I feel like it's all I'm good for, but I also just can't help myself. Try to wrap my mind around why, but I can't seem to come up with anything. Just breathing, trying to survive myself and the choices that I make. I'm reflecting upon everything. Do the work, they say. When does the work start working differently? So far, all I've got is, I hate my father, obviously. Is that what drives me to do these things? The hole never closed. Apparently, I'm still filling, figuratively and literally swallowing the world. Is that why I carry so much? Is that why I need so much noise? Have I felt insatiable because of this void? Or is it darker now? Have the years layered on mistrust and avoidance? Is this real life, or am I a delusionist? I wish I had the answers, a key to unlock. It doesn't seem fair now that I can't feel love. Having been deprived for so long, I want it too bad, but my system's given up. Being alone is all that I have. My sense of self, my pride, they all get pushed to the wayside the second I see something I want mine. I fight tooth and nail, even when it's proven that in the hands of the other party it'd fail. Reject me and you'll get far. As I've said, breakups and battle scars, have they left me unaware? Choosing love bombing to indifferent aloofness. Lovers who show you their world just to close the gates, left sitting outside while someone hides behind the murk holding your flowers. You can't see it. You'd rather be alone or treated like shit. But why? Why am I like this? Why do I accept it? Why do I say yes? Why do I need it now when before it didn't exist? I feel nothing until they enter my space. Content, lively. Sabrina is so fun. Sure, check my text timing. I get burned out, I like my space, but I let them invade. Take parts of my soul, open wide and hand over control. Where yesterday I was fine, I am now vying for more pain, a glutton for punishment because you bothered in, tasted the fruit but didn't buy. Why just a bite? Why not the whole thing? Can they smell that inside I'm rotting? Outside I'm so pretty, so free, inviting. Inside I'm hollow, negative, and flighty. I'm tired and traumatized. A vortex sucks me down into a wasteland where for a week I'll internalize and bleed. So I just keep feeding it. Karaoke, open mics, poetry, websites, books, marijuana, alcohol, and sex. Love is worse than all of the rest. The way I love is wrong, twisted, and stained, but I can feel the difference between desire and disdain. I can feel the distance even when they're close. I can feel when I've thrown myself to performance like a rose. And there's this girl, she lives far, categorically, miles and miles, but from another country, makes everything better. She helps me smile. If I could love like that, I would sacrifice so much because I know that in return they'd always fill my cup. I would never feel expendable, optionable, or unwanted. I would never feel uncertain or freak out as often. I would feel safe, my system secure. I wouldn't have to ask to be reassured. She would just love me. Or maybe you could. I don't trust myself anymore because it all starts to look good once the screaming to run kicks in. Or would it finally be different? I'm content with being alone and having a friend. Relationships are bullshit, terrifying, and tricky. You start off with favorite colors, now you can tell when they're lying. So why, please tell me why I keep trying. So that was that. Like I said, it's I be vulnerable on stage, but not super vulnerable on stage. I do think you is a little bit more vulnerable than Y. I don't know why I feel that way. I think because you so clearly like speaks to the subject, and also shows a little bit about how maybe I don't always love myself as much as I might care for my subject. And I think that's something too that a lot of artists are like, or passionate people are like, where we just kind of throw ourselves to the wolves, you know. We throw ourselves at the hands of people who sometimes, you know, I think in our minds care more about us than we think they do, or are better than we think they are, you know. And in our heads they're amazing. They're you know, think like and like you see the pretty lights and all the skies, and you see their face and you think like, this person is so wonderful and great and grand, and you get it in your head that no one else is gonna be as great. No one else is gonna make you feel this way, even though you felt this way before about other people. Or, you know, like I was a whole married person before, and I was in that relationship for 11 years. I thought, you know, it would kill me, and I survived that. So we get it in our heads, I think, that like maybe it's just me, but I meet a lot of passionate people out there, a lot of musicians out there who will tell me lots of things like this, where they're like, you know, or they're like, oh, I just, you know, I feel this person. I think because we're very empathetic people, we project things a lot. We project depth. I know that I do for sure. I definitely project depth into people, and even if it doesn't exist. And it causes us to get hurt, because it is a lot, I think, in our heads. I think we are people who are in our heads a lot. Something I'm always doing is I'm always writing. I'll be having a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden, like, something will come to my mind, like pain sometimes too, will just like, it'll just kill me in the moment, and I'll just start writing something. And they'll be like, are you on your phone right now? I'm not texting anyone. And like, people all the time will see me online. I'm not online because I need, like, I'm fucking writing something. Leave me alone. Like, I'm constantly doing something. If I'm on my phone, I'm doing something. Like, and I used to be addicted to this game. I used to hate myself because I was on my phone playing that game, but now I'm always on my phone doing something. And I'm like, it feels better that I'm always doing something, but like, it's still crazy. Like, I hate that I'm always on my phone. I wish I was back on pen and paper, but it's harder to like just pull that out, whip it out, and just have it everywhere I go. My notes app is like fucking wild, but you know, I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking about things, and one of the things that I do, and I just told myself recently I have to stop doing it, is I'm always thinking about my past. I'm always pulling my past apart. Why is it like this? Why am I like this? Why did I do this? Why, when, what, where, when, why? And it's because I want to know so I can fix it to move forward. But what if I just didn't? What if I just kept trying? What if I just let experience take the reins, and I just kept letting people treat me like shit and not caring that it was happening? What if I just stopped caring that I do these things? What if I just stopped caring that it all was like that? Would things be a little bit different? Or would I keep repeating the same thing, and now I'm indulging in that behavior? So it's like a rock and a hard place, really. And I just want to be like, I want to be myself, who's always just going to be that person who says what I'm thinking. And I'm like, I'm very honest, because I can't see how being honest would ever get you anywhere bad. But one of the things that I do wish I could fix is I am a word vomiter really bad, which is where I'm doing it right now, which is where I'm almost repeating the same things too sometimes, but it's just like where I'm just consistently speaking. Like I'm trying to work through whatever it is I'm thinking, so I'm speaking out loud, and I'll share it with people. And I'll be like, this is, you know, da 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 da. And I don't even know if half of what I'm saying is exactly what is true or not true. I'm just working through my thought process, and I do that out loud, like to people, like I'm doing right now. And I have to stop doing that. I have to do it, and then once I've come to a conclusion, then do it. Then send a text or tell somebody or have a conversation, because that is a lot, and it's because my system gets fucked up, and I wish I could change that. I wish I knew why my system did that, why my system reacted that way. I mean, I obviously know I'm afraid of rejection and all of these things, but knowing those things doesn't stop that from happening, and filling my time doesn't stop me from giving it away, and going to the gym and being a healthy person and eating right and having a clear face doesn't stop the wrong people from approaching me or entering my energy and space and life. So what can I do to, I guess, change things moving forward? And that's something that I've also like really tried to do, and that's why I ask all these questions, like what exactly can I do to break the cycle? Because I even tried stop dating. You know, I stopped dating for a long time. This is the first person I've dated in a really long time. First heartbreak I've had in a year, and it was the exact same situation where there were two people involved, and I didn't see that, and the whole thing really made me freak the fuck out. Like, and I'm so envious of people who are like, oh, I'm just like, oh, fuck you, and then they leave. And I'm like, yeah, and when you do that, that person's then like, oh, I regret it a week later, and then they come back, and then things end up well, and if I could do that, that'd be great, except that I don't want that person to leave me and then come back. I want that person just to have liked me the whole time. So now, like, fuck you, don't come back. Why would you treat me that way? Absolutely not. And then I freak out because, like, also, why not? Because, like, people will internalize things. They'll yell at other people. They'll get angry. They say they don't care, but they do care. And it shows in different ways. I would much rather it be shown to and be taken out on the person who did that thing. That's, like, you know? But also, maybe I'm just crazy. And that's where I've come to this conclusion in this video, is that I'm a psychopath, and that's fine. I would not want to date me either. Like, I just feel like I'm a very cool person until the relationship comes into the picture. Like, I'm very funny, I'm very chill, I'm very, like, people think I'm sweet, and I am very protective. I am very, like, scrappy and whatever of other people, but I'm not very protective of myself. And when relationships come around, I just become this, like, soft, sensitive, weak person that just, like, is giving myself away because I want this person to, like, care. And why? I don't know. I might not post this now because I've gotten too vulnerable. Like I said, this is really hard. It's not easy always coming here and being like, ABC 1 2 3, this is me. It's difficult always posting exactly what I'm thinking or saying or doing. And there are moments in my life where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't, you know, maybe I won't do this, maybe I shouldn't do this. Oh, that's cringy, I'm not gonna do that, that's cringy. I don't think that's, you know, like, I don't know, sorry, my messages are going off. I just feel like, you know, sometimes I look back and I'm like, why did I tell people these things? Why did I, you know, why did I share this? But I think it is beautiful that that people get to look at this and they get to see me as a person kind of growing and changing and picking myself apart and being vulnerable. And I hope I inspire other people to be as vulnerable, as scary as it is, and as cringy as it actually is. It is cringy. I agree with that. I do think that. I'm not unaware. I'm a very aware person. It's unfortunate. I'm a very aware person, very intuitive person. I think that's part of it too. I'm now at 45 minutes, so maybe I won't get into this, but I am getting into this. My intuition is really sick. And I can sense things, I think, very early on. And so I feel like when people aren't honest with me and I like feel that, it really does fuck with me, because I don't want to trust my own intuition. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you're accusing someone of something you have no idea of, you know, and they're telling you that you're like, that's not true, like, and you have no reason to not believe them. Like, this is crazy. And like, my intuition will be like, bitch, run. But like, I wanted to run my whole life, so what is that, you know? What is that? I don't know. I've been making up songs lately too, like, just consistently. I don't know, heartbreak motivates me. It turns me into someone completely different. Maybe that's why I've been thinking that lately too. Maybe I do this, or maybe the universe is doing this to me to motivate me to do more, to be better, to write more songs, to do more poetry. Maybe pain, I have to have it in order to like be a person. I don't know. I'm infinitely sad on the inside, and that's what I was saying about confident people, and we got so far away from that. I am so sorry, so we're gonna end the video there. I'm attracted to confident people. The thing about confident people, and I know that because it's me, is that I'm dancing, I'm doing all of these things, and people think I'm so brave and so awesome, but actually on the inside, I am just an infinitely sad individual who wants to be loved, and who wants the world to love her, and who wants everyone to like me, and I don't like it when people don't like me. But also, like, I would end a man in a second for assaulting a woman, or for, like, I don't know, being a piece of shit. I will be mean to a random person at a bar if they are disgusting. So I'm not saying like I would accept love from everyone, but I do want the world to love me, because I think I am trying hard maybe to prove to myself that I can be loved, or that people do love me, or that someone does love me. Because like, even people, when they say they love you, like, you come home at the end of the day and you are just infinitely alone. And I don't want that. I want my person, I want my best friend, and you know, I want, when I go out places, to not feel like I'm, you know, sitting by myself and everybody else is having a conversation and I don't know what to say. And I get in that a lot. People think I'm so, you know, whatever, I go everywhere, but it's because I'm learning, I'm adapting, I'm trying to grow, because I get in situations where it's like, I have no idea what to say, I have no idea what to do, and I feel inadequate with myself a lot. And so the thing that I can do though is be myself. I can get on stage, I can dance, I can sing karaoke, I can make jokes, I can laugh, so I project confidence because I like attracting people. And so I see that in people, and I think that that's the problem, is that the people that I attract, they aren't confident. They're people I think are confident, but they're people that I recognize confidence with, which is my own self-destructive confidence. And it's not like good. It's actually just that you want to be loved, and you're affirming this love with yourself, and you're telling yourself, like people who do the affirmations every morning, you're telling yourself, you know, this is, you know, it's because you struggle with doing it, and I do. I struggle with doing it, and then I attract people, I think, who also struggle with doing it and need their cup filled, and I am a cup filler. I will fill that cup. I will continue to fill your cup. And so I don't want to, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sorry it was 50 minutes long, and I'm going to grow up eventually and stop doing the same things eventually. And I want to be like, yeah, I'm like healed and I'm over it and I don't deserve that and fuck this person and blah 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 blah. I want to be that person. I do. And I know that you guys want that from me. I know people want that from me. But I also just am this person who is just gonna go, you know, maybe there's something I could learn from myself from what happened, and maybe, you know, and I can still miss, you know, how, like, there are certain things that I'm still allowed to feel towards this. I am still allowed to be hurt by it, and I think that's important to say to people out there, is that, like, it's very easy to say, I don't deserve something, fuck this person, blah blah blah, but it's okay too to be like, yeah, that really fucking hurt my ego, yeah, that really hurt, you know, me, yeah, I had expectations for more, like, and it can still hurt, and that's okay. Just know that you deserve more. And I know that it's just gonna take me a minute to, like, get through it. And yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I'm trying to end this video, and I just feel like there's something else I have to say. I just want my friends to know that I'm okay and I don't hate myself, but I also do, and that is okay. And I want the whole world to know that it's okay, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and that I am not always vulnerable, but that I come here to be more vulnerable so that you guys can also relate to me and also see my whole life unfold, and also I can leave something behind so that when I die, there is a whole life left for people to see on the internet. I've, whatever, cringy as fuck, existed here. And, okay, bye.